To the ODPP Café. My name is Anita Onuko. I'm your host for the show. The show is live on Facebook at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions Kenya, and also on YouTube at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. We welcome you to follow the conversation and engage with us. You are free to ask questions that are definitely going to be responded to. We are also on Twitter at the office at ODPP_KE. So good morning once again. Karibu sana. It's been a while since we did such a nice recording as we're about to do today. We are live at the Makadara ODPP offices. There's a while back we posted on Twitter and said that Makadara works with 42 police stations in Eastlands. So apparently it is the busiest central office in East and Central Africa. I'm about to say Sub-Saharan Africa. So today we are here to look at, to sort of tell the journey of what happens when a case is reported, of course at the police station, and then what happens when the file comes to the ODPP. I have with me 3 experts, and I'm going to take you through a journey of each of them and exactly what they do when they come here. So I'm going to start with the IO, the investigative officer, and of course sometimes it's there are many investigative agencies, so we won't mention which one until we get to the show. But I'm just going to invite him to just tell us exactly what happens when he comes. So this place is like a triage. It's like a nurse's station. When you see how people come in with files and how they're called out to bring in their files, it's sort of mirrors a nursing station, a triage. Pali unachukuliwa pressure, unapimwa weight, all those things. This is now the journey of the file, sort of in that manner. So karibu sana to the show. Welcome and engage. It's very important for you to learn how a case travels or your file travels the minute you have a criminal case going on. So the show is meant to educate. The show is meant to inform you. The show is meant to sensitize you on exactly how the criminal justice system works. So karibu sana once again, and we are just about to start. So karibu sana. So I just want to know what you're holding in your hands.
Yeah, what I'm holding in the hand is a police file.
Yeah.
And on the top of it is a charge sheet.
Okay. So what's a charge sheet?
Actually, a charge sheet is a record prepared at the police station.
Okay.
Against the charges of a person or a suspect who was recorded at the police station.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, it's just records prepared at the police station.
So I go to the police station, I say I have a case, right? Or a problem, then it is investigated. Yes. Then the result of the investigation is now put on this thing, on this charge sheet.
Exactly.
Okay. So from here, so you come with this file to ODPP. For what reason do you bring it?
The most important reason why we bring the file and the charge sheet and the ODPP is for the approval for the procedure to continue. And once we come here, we expect to get somebody who's at the desk, that's the clerk,
Okay.
whereby the clerk will take over the file together with the charge sheet.
Okay.
There is some things that maybe we verify on the charge sheet.
Okay.
Most of the reasons that the clerk does not peruse the file.
What's in the file?
What is the file is the evidence collected.
Okay.
The evidence collected from the time the case was reported at the police station,
Okay.
and also all the ingredients the investigative officer carried on during the time at the police station.
All right.
Yes.
So then we walk with you to where you take the file once you arrive.
Yeah, once I arrive,
Yeah.
then I will take it to the clerk.
Okay. So is there any discussion ama nikumpatia tu?
No, once we come, as normal, we are supposed to greet each other, at least to know
Yes.
about whereabout.
Yes.
And immediately, I will inform him that I'm from this police station.
Okay.
If I hand over the file.
All right.
Yeah.
Aya, tuendele. Oh, okay, let me just go this way.
So good morning. Yeah, I'm PC Stanley Wasile from Akogeni Police Station. I've got my file here.
Okay, so now we are with you are what now?
I'm Naftali Joey.
Okay, so tell us, you've received a file from the IO, from the investigative officer. So what are you looking at?
The file comprises of vital information, starting from the police station. We will also look at if it's a criminal matter. There is a criminal matter number that is supposed to be indicated in the file. There is also an OB number, because for purposes of reference, someone maybe gets an accused or a complainant who comes in to complain over a file, we can always refer to the OB number.
Okay.
Then there is also the name of the accused person, and the charges leveled against him, and the particulars of the charge.
So hiyo yote unaangalia
Yes.
in that split second?
Yes.
Okay. So what is this book about?
Now the OB is where now the charge and the person who is charged is recorded, and it also comprises of a number of details that are supposed to be captured in this book.
Okay.
On the far left, we have the serial number, which we document on a daily basis according to the number of files that we receive on a daily basis.
Okay.
And then we have the date of the file, the date that the file is received here.
Yeah.
And then we have the police station, the police file number, the name of the accused person, the name of the complainant or the victim, the offense that is committed or the offense that is the person is being charged of, the name of the investigating officer, the prosecutor, rather the prosecutor who is supposed to go through that file, the decision that the council has made on that particular file, and then finally, reasons as to why that decision
Has been made. So you transfer the details of this charge sheet here?
So basically we transfer the details of the charge sheet to this OB book.
Bado hujafungua file?
Sijafungua file.
Aya. Aya, tukimaliza na wewe tunaenda wapi?
Now after here, the file has been registered. We have confirmed that the particulars of the charge sheet is okay. We check the file.
So by particulars you mean you have all these dates, police station, nini, kila kitu?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, the ODPP devised this book just to ensure that whatever the police officers bring here will be captured on this. So in case these details does not reflect on the charge sheet, then we will request, or maybe we will request the officer to indicate whatever is missing in the file.
So kama ya Karao inaitwa OB, yenyu inaitwa?
It is basically
an OB, occurrence book. Okay.
We register any occurrence that comes on a daily basis.
All right. So take us this to the next one, yeah. Hi, Lynette.
Hi.
We are here now with Naftali. He says he brings a file to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so from the desk, we bring it to the prosecutor.
Wait, and I transfer it to you. Okay. You need a spotlight on you. Oh. Eh? Yeah? Okay, so you go? Yeah. Turn it. So this is the third step, right?
Yeah, this is the third step.
Okay.
From the OB desk.
All right.
The file is brought to the prosecutor.
Okay.
Who is now supposed to go through the file.
All right.
And then take the necessary steps from there.
Wacha tupige story. So tell us, you've received a file from the prosecution clerk. So what are you looking at?
This is where now the decision to charge starts. We peruse the file, we look at the evidence, we look at the charge sheet, the basic things that we look at in a charge sheet. And on the face of it, we'll want to know whether there is the correct offense, it is under the correct section, and it's under the correct act. Once we have looked at the charge sheet, now we look at the file, we peruse the file to see whether the file has enough evidence for us to be able to sign it and approve it.
Okay.
Yes.
So Naftali has shown us in his occurrence book, there's a place for decision to charge.
Yes.
So does the file go back to him?
Yes. Once we have approved the file, it will go back to Naftali, who now will record, and now that is when now the process of scanning starts.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So scanning is done here still?
The
At case
scanning
intake?
is done, yes.
Oh,
The scanning is done here, the registration is done here.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to welcome you. We go maybe and do just further discussion on this.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So that has been the journey of the files, and I want us to discuss just a bit more on this in a few minutes because, as always, you know, we do case highlights, and I want to introduce, or rather to take you through a bit of some of the cases that we had set out to show you today. So I want to thank you once again, and today for me it's very interesting because it feels like we've gone through a doctor's room. We've started from the triage, we've had the files checked, and now we just want to get a bit more details about what they do. So one of the cases you want to start with today is about 81 people in Kilifi were charged with promoting warlike activities. We're in the election period, and we're bound to see more of these cases coming up. And I know most of these agencies, actually all the agencies have actually said that they are ready. There's the election ready. So that's why you'll see a lot of these cases coming up right now. So in Kilifi, 81 people were arrested with crude weapons and paraphernalia in Mtwapa, Kilifi County, and they were charged with promoting warlike activities. The suspects appeared in Shanzu Court on Thursday over the offenses they are alleged to have committed in Kanjuni area. So the 81 were in court, and according to the charge sheet, of course, it gives me great pleasure to say you're discussing the charge sheet today. According to the charge sheet presented before the court, the suspects made preparations for warlike undertakings against Kenyans by unlawfully assembling while armed and singing warlike songs. The suspects were further charged with preparation to commit a felony after they participated in an unlawful assembly at the residence of Jefwa Kaluki Bakari. They all denied the accusations and released on a 200,000 shilling bond, each with one surety of similar amount, and the case will be mentioned on July 14th. So those are 81 people who were charged with this in Kilifi. The next story is about tax evasion. A scrap metal dealer is charged with tax evasion. The dealer has been charged with denying the government 155 million revenue by evading paying of taxes. So Mr. Habib is said to have made sales worth 337.9 million between 2016 and 2018, but failed to declare and pay requisite income tax from the proceeds. So through his company Masuti Enterprises Limited, the dealer is also accused of failing to file tax returns over the same period. So that's a case of tax evasion from some time back. The court heard that the suspect committed this offense jointly with others who are yet to be arrested. The offense attracts a fine not exceeding 10 million or double the tax evaded, whichever is higher, with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years or both. Mr. Ahmed was released on a 2 million bond with one surety of a similar amount. He was given an alternative cash bail of 1 million. The case will be mentioned on July 12th. So an Nanyuki-based lawyer in the next case was arraigned on Wednesday on charges of fraudulently obtaining 8.2 million from his client, Mr. Robert Githaiga Madenge. So Mr. Robert Githaiga Madenge appeared before the principal magistrate Ben Mararo and denied the charges. The charge sheet indicates that the lawyer faces 4 counts related to forgery and obtaining money by false pretense from Mr. Charles Njunge Ndwati. The offenses were allegedly committed between April this year and include forgery with intent to defraud. So the accused is Mr. Robert Githaiga Madenge, just for clarification. So that was a case of a lawyer defrauding his client. Another charge stated that he forged a sales agreement for the sale of a property in Nanyuki while purporting it to be a sales agreement from Benezeli Holdings. The lawyer, who was not represented when he had court, applied to have the matter settled out of court, arguing that as a lawyer, is required to carry out his duties in strict adherence to professional ethics. So the case will be mentioned on July 7th, and a hearing was scheduled for 1st of September. So the prime suspect in the murder of international athlete Agnes Tirop has applied for plea bargaining as he seeks lesser charges after pleading guilty to the offense. We've talked about plea bargaining here, and I think it's worth, again, a repeat, maybe for a different show, before you start saying he's being released without charges. So Ibrahim Rotich, through his lawyer Ngigi Mbogwa, said he was ready for the process when he appeared in the High Court in Eldoret. The state confirmed that the two were legally married and the murder emanated from domestic violence. The family's lawyer, Richard Warigi, did not object to the application, but pleaded with the court to give them more time to discuss the issue. Justice Nyakundi directed all parties to scrutinize the application so as to enable the court to give appropriate direction on how to prosecute the case. Mr. Rotich denied the murder charge on 16th of November 2021. He was accused of killing Tirop on 12th October 2021 at rural estate in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County. So the next case is about the MP, Samuel Arama. The Nakuru Town West MP, Samuel Arama, was on Thursday, yesterday, fined 1.5 million in a land fraud case. The anti-graft court in Nairobi ruled that the MP will spend 6 months in jail in default. Mr. Arama was found guilty of attempted fraud. Anti-graft court chief magistrate Victor Wakumile also sentenced 3 former Nakuru land officers. The 3, John Mwaura, Daniel Nyantika, and Charles Berundo, were also given an optional fine, 1,040,000 Kenya shillings each. The lawyer who acted on the transaction, Kennedy Onkoba, will serve the same period in prison or pay a fine of 560,000. The court said all the suspects did not directly benefit from the transaction, and the title deed of the land was returned to the complainant in their mitigation. The suspects pleaded with the court to consider a non-custodial sentence. So those just are a bit of the highlights that we had for you today. And we just want to go back into our discussion because we had started it earlier with the case intake system. So before, we've talked about case management, but today we're talking about case intake. So things have really changed. There's a nexus, or rather a relationship between what the IOs do and what the prosecutors do. And then, of course, it connects the judiciary, and the criminal justice system moves like that. So we've been taken through this, and I want now to take an opportunity to officially invite my guests to the show. I'm going to give them just 1 minute each to tell us who they are and exactly what they do. So I think I'm going to start with the lady in as much as she's in the middle. Karibu sana to the show and tell us your name.
Thank you. My name is Jane Linet. I'm a prosecution counsel, or rather prosecutor, prosecuting at Makadara Law Court.
Okay. Yeah. You said Jean Linet?
Yes, Jane Linet.
Jane Linet.
Yes.
Hey. Complicated. Karibu sana to the show.
Asante.
All right. Karibu sana, Mr. Asike. Just now again, tell us again who you are and what you do.
I'm Stanley Nkwasike. I'm a police officer and also an investigator at the station where I work.
Okay.
I normally investigate cases. Once the case has been reported at the police station, that's exactly my work that I do, to investigate the case. And after my investigation, I forward the case to the ODPP for the purpose of approval.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's a very great day today to have an IO and a prosecutor. Tunafaa tuchore picha na kalamu tuseme investigations are done here and prosecution is done this side. So I hope people actually get the distinction right today.
Yeah.
Naftali.
Yeah, my name is Naftali. I am a prosecution clerk based in Makadara.
Okay. What does a prosecution clerk do?
Basically, we deal with the registration, that is central case intake.
Yeah.
Registration of cases, that is from the IAs once the investigating officers are done with the investigations. The first desk they report to is the prosecution clerk, that is the first contact person to report to. And a number of activities, or rather process, is carried out. That is right from the verification of the details of the file, rather the charge sheet. And then thereafter, the case or the file is taken to the prosecutor, where now the decision to charge starts from there. But then after that, we will still come back to the clerks, where the case, after it's been approved, the prosecutor has preferred charges through all the processes that he or she is supposed to do. Now the file comes back
to you?
Uploaded. Yes.
Oh, to be uploaded.
To be uploaded to the system.
Just take me back a bit, because sometimes when we talk about ODPP, people assume everybody is a lawyer, everybody went to law school. So do you need to be a lawyer to be a prosecution clerk?
Basically, no. You don't need to be a lawyer to be a prosecution clerk. Yeah. Actually, prosecution clerk across the board are people from different backgrounds.
Okay.
Academic.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So you don't need necessarily
To be a lawyer.
But then, in the course of your duties and in the case of carrying out your responsibilities, you need to have some technological know-how
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
law bit of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it is mostly a work in progress, and also it is on job training sort of, because you get to acquire more skills on what you do when you're at work.
But you end up being a lawyer at the end of the day. In retirement, you'll be a lawyer.
Probably.
Okay, so tell us now, because the process now starts with you, Stanley. What is written in the charge sheet? What is brought to the charge sheet?
Okay, as I said earlier, actually a charge sheet is a record made at the police station pertaining the charges against the person. So a charge sheet is a holistic evidence that has been collected, because immediately the case is reported at the police station, at the desk where there is inquiry. That is the time when the case is minuted to me as the investigating officer. Once I come and read the case, maybe the case has been recorded as assault. That is the time I begin my investigation.
Okay.
From there, I will begin by contacting the person who has reported the matter. After I get that person in contact, I'm also supposed to visit the scene of crime, where the incident happened. We have got different categories of cases. There is some cases that you are supposed to work with the victim of the complainant hand in hand up to the last process. So my main work as an investigating officer begins actually at the reporting test. Once I've collected information, then from there I compile the file. And my starting point, where we call it, is the initial report. Now, when the initial report has been recorded, actually, let me just speak about the file.
Yeah.
You find that what contains on the charge sheet, it is what in the file.
It's what is in the file?
Yes.
Oh.
It is the full record of everything.
Okay.
For example, on the charge sheet, as our dear brother has said, it must have the name of the suspect.
Okay.
You find, and also, it must also have the name of the complainer. In each and every police station, we normally have the case file number. So when we bring this charge sheet, here the ODPP,
yeah.
with us we bring So in the file, we normally compile this file according to sub-file. There's something what we call the sub-file. Those are the ingredients, beginning from sub-file A to sub-file J. In each and every sub-file, there is information that you're supposed to place in. Now, those are the things that we bring at the ODPP for them to confirm.
Okay.
Is it correctly stipulated? Do we have enough evidence to charge this person? Because the ODPP are our referees or our advisor. Now, when you check, like, let me say, like, just to pick a little bit, in the sub-file A, this is where we have got everything recorded there. If you want to trace any records, you have to trace at the sub-file A.
Okay.
For example, in the sub-file A, we have got the initial report, the crime and incident, the OB, and everything, the station, the division, and how the movement of the case has been taken place. For example, when the case is recorded at a police station and it needs some documentation, I need to collect those documents. If it means to be verified, I have to go and verify to the right agent before I bring it.
Okay.
In a scenario whereby, take example like the sexual offense case. You know, like sexual offense case, sometimes a case can happen before investigation.
Yeah.
And maybe the perpetrator is arrested. Then we are required, as directed by the law, that if I've not collected enough evidence, I'll have to come and swear an affidavit. Again, I draw that an affidavit and bring it at the ODPP. The ODPP will look at it, because I'll be requiring more days for me to have that person under the custody as I do the investigation.
Okay. All right.
So everything...
Is that what they call miscellaneous?
Yes, exactly.
I've become a lawyer. Yeah.
So everything is approved at the ODPP.
Okay, all right.
So with us, we just prepare, collect the evidence.
And then you bring.
Then we bring here. it is upon their duties for them now to direct us. What I expect from them,
Yeah.
once I bring my file
Yes.
and the evidence,
Yeah.
it is for them to guide me.
Okay.
If there is some correction that we are supposed to make, that the people who are supposed to tell me that you are supposed to do this, we correct it. Because now we become one. This is where people don't get it.
Yeah.
Now we become one.
Yes.
Because now if I've bring a prosecution file and they are prosecutors, now we become one.
Yes.
So long as they've guided me the right direction.
You're dependent on each other.
Yes. Because we are supposed to be one to make sure that we have succeeded. That is.
Okay. Naftali, it comes to you. So he has brought all these things to you. Unaangalia nini hiyo file ikikuja? Hiyo nini ikikuja?
Now the file has been brought, just like Wasika has said.
Yes.
There are a number of things that we look at the reception desk. And one of the things we look at is does the file, or rather the charge sheet, contain the name of the accused?
The name of the police.
The name of the police station, the investigating officer. Does it contain the police file number? Does it contain the right charge? And if you know, there is a section where you indicate the name of the accused and then on the particulars of the offense.
Repeat. Repeat. You write the name of the accused?
Yeah, there is a section for the name of the accused person, and then there is a section for the particulars of the accused.
Of the accused.
Yes.
Okay.
So sometimes you need to cross-check because the particulars of the offense might not match the name of the accused person. So we need to cross-check all those details until we are satisfied it meets the threshold to be registered.
Oh, to be registered.
Yes.
Then we move to the threshold to charge.
Yes.
Decision to charge. So what do you do exactly?
Once a file has come to me, the first thing I look at is the charge this person is being charged with. Is it under the correct act? Is it under the correct section? So sometimes you might find that maybe the charge does not match the section. So we have to look at that.
Okay.
For instance, maybe it's stealing. Stealing has been brought under the penal code. Is it under the right section? Once you have looked at the charge sheet, that's when now you look at the evidence that is on record. You have to, the first obvious thing is the complainant's statement. Has it been made? Does it tally with what the investigator is saying? Because sometimes you might find that maybe the evidence on record, you as a prosecutor, you're not satisfied as to whether you want to really charge this person.
Yeah.
Maybe you want more information from the investigating officer concerning this particular file. So basically for us, it's just to ensure that the evidence on record is the correct evidence. Because when you look at a file as a prosecutor, the first question that you ask yourself, am I able to prove this offense? If I take it to court and prosecute it, am I able to give enough evidence for this person to be, to have a conviction or maybe, something like that. So basically for us, it's just to look at the evidence on record. The obvious things that we look at, for instance, if it is an assault, does it have a P3 form? That is the first step that we look at. Does it have a medical report? Because when a person is assaulted, they first go and seek medical assistance in a hospital. So we at least need to have that medical report. Once we have the medical report, you need to look at the P3 form. So that's some of the things that we look at when it comes to, when the file comes to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Wasike, so this process has been said to enhance public confidence. Like, why is the separation of roles very important for me as a public? Why should I support this whole separation of duties as a citizen?
It is important because, like members of public, the first people they have confidence in is the police officer.
Yes.
Because that's where everything begins. Now, once they have come and reported the case, what they expect also, I as the investigating officer, to guide them about the steps. And I'm supposed to inform them that your case has reached at this stage. And once the case has reached at this stage, for example, now if I finished my investigation, I'm supposed also to inform them that I'm now taking your case where
You're informing the accused.
The accused person, and also at the same time,
Okay.
the complainant.
Okay.
For example, even the accused person has got this right. Once he has come at the police station, does not mean that I will only deal with who? The complainant.
Yes, yes.
I will also deal with the accused person. For example, in subfile E, we always also record the statement of an accused person. Also to know, because sometimes you can assume things, and even the accused himself or the suspect, he can reveal more details. Sometimes when we are charging the co-offenders, you can find that once you create a good rapport with the accused person, he can also tell you, no, I'm not alone in this matter.
Anakupatia details zingine.
Anapea details zingine. So from there, once I hand over that case to the ODPP, you'll find that the ODPP now, he or she becomes our coordinator between me, the complainant, and the accused.
So uko na referee katikati.
Yes, because now that the case is within their hands, all the time he must remind me that, you are supposed to take the file to court on this day. Another thing, if there is a summon, they draw a summon. If the accused person fails to appear before court, using now that coordination, until the case is finalized, we must coordinate.
You work hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Okay.
Especially between I, the prosecution, and the complainant.
So that you actually protect their rights.
Yes, because if we don't work in hand, sometimes if I have got some malice, I can even also misadvise the complainant, or I can also misadvise the accused person, which is not good. So we need to work hand in hand, because what we are after is to achieve the common call, and our common call is justice to be done.
Okay, very interesting. I feel like stopping and telling people, kitambo prosecutor alikuwa polisi. Siku hizi prosecutor ni hapa hivi Linet sasa ni lawyer. Si ndio? And I think that's why I was asking Wasike what he thinks about this whole process instilling confidence in mwananchi, because over time we get afraid of dealing with the justice system because we say it is not straightforward. But so what do you think about the separation of roles?
For us, for me, I think it has created more confidence with the public now that they now know that a prosecutor is not a police. Most of this public, the people, they're really scared of the police officer. Truth be told.
Hata mimi leo Wasika nikuja na uniform ningetetemeka yangu yote.
Yes, they're scared of the police officers. But now where a prosecutor, you interact with the complainant. Even when the matter is coming to court, there's something called pre-trial. You're able to sit down with a complainant. You try and give confidence to the complainant that you're an advocate rather in this matter, and we are going to present our evidence in court. So they are able to warm up to us because now they have that confidence. Yes, and sometimes also we are able to work with, we tell them that the investigation officer is not your enemy. If you feel like there's something that you want to bring it to the attention of the investigation officer,
just tell them.
You still feel free to go and tell the investigating officer that this is the more information about this case. Yes.
And again, I know we joked about the uniform, but the truth is, it is not about the uniform, it is about expertise.
Yes.
Kila mtu ana role yake na expertise
everyone
yake.
has, yes.
So if you are told today to go investigate, would you investigate?
I'm not qualified to investigate because you see now with our constitution, also the roles have been separated. So that the police are able to do their role.
And even your training is different.
Even on training is different. Because then they are purpose for because not all officers are investigating officers. I believe so. They have also their expertise on how they are trained to do investigations. Yes.
So tell me, sometimes you get a file that doesn't meet the threshold, and then you take it back. What happens in that case? So does the case stall until the file is investigated afresh, or they fill in the gaps? What happens?
Mostly what we do, when as a prosecutor you're not satisfied that whether of this file that is not maybe complete or it does not meet the threshold, we always guide the investigating officers on areas to cover. We call them areas to cover. So that once you have covered this area, bring back the file to me and see whether I'll be in a position to make that decision to charge and say, now I'm satisfied that this file can be registered and be prosecuted in court. Because sometimes you might feel maybe an investigator, remember they're given 24 hours to investigate a matter, or an accused person or a suspect should be arraigned within 24
hours. Yes.
So you can imagine maybe he has arrested somebody yesterday. He has brought the file today. So we have to, and we feel like these investigations have not been done well. As a prosecutor, I do a letter. I do a letter because even them, definitely they have their own procedures.
Yes.
I do a letter and explain to them the reason why I'm not going to register this file. And I highlight the areas to cover in that letter. Yes, to fill in the gap.
Okay.
Once I have highlighted that, then I will inform the investigating officer, because the accused person is in custody and cannot be in custody for all this time. We let him or her be released on police cash bill, because you see there's something called police cash bill that you can.
I'm about to ask the difference, but that's a whole new discussion, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the police cash bill is where the OCS has a right to give the accused person, deposit this 10,000 just to ensure that you be coming to the station until your file is ready. But now we have the court bond, in which, or the cash bill.
You have to go to court.
Now, yes, after your plea has been read out by the court now gives you a bond or a cash bill.
Okay.
Yes.
Aye.
So there's a difference.
All right.
So it depends also with which offense are we investigating here. You know, something like capital offenses like robbery, violence, or sexual offenses matters. It is very hard to release those people on police cash bill.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Because of the seriousness of these offenses. Most of these people, they will go and they will never come back.
Oh,
yes. So sometimes we also have to be careful.
Yeah.
And that is where the miscellaneous applications come in.
So who makes this miscellaneous application?
The investigating officer is the one who makes this miscellaneous
So you
application.
can't suggest, she cannot suggest that you ever find a miscellaneous application?
Yes, depending.
You can do that?
I can.
Okay.
Because maybe a sexual offense matter has been brought to my desk. And I feel like there is more that needs to be done on this matter. You see, remember, this is somebody who is being accused with a very serious offense. He might decide, I will not come back, and they go and go. So we request them to do a miscellaneous application for asking for custodial orders, maybe for 3 days or for 4 days, just to allow us time to try and fill the gap.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So your job is definitely, it's just complementary.
Yes, complementary.
Like Wasike says, you must work hand in hand for things to work.
And sometimes also, because I'm in court, and I'm able to know what maybe a particular court or the law, you know, I have to work within the law.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm able to get the investigating officer on what exactly to do concerning a matter.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Naftali, 42 police stations. Aren't you the busiest clerk in Eastern Central Africa?
42 police stations. It's quite a hassle handling 42 police stations. We have quite a workload. It's a bit tedious.
How many files do you do in a day?
I would say on a
on a bad day. Bad means you have many files.
No, we appreciate the work we do, but on a good day, I call it a good day though. On a good day, on a Monday, we would handle like 130 files.
Wow.
Or plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time does your day start?
My day starts at 6 in the morning.
And you get investigative officers coming at that time?
Yes. Some of them are here as early as 5:30. You will find them here.
What?
So by the time I'm opening that door, some of them are at the top, the door rather, waiting for me.
Yeah.
So on a busy day, we handle like 130 plus files, inclusive of correspondences, star sheets, and whatnot.
Which one is the most notorious police station that you must see on a daily basis?
There are several of them where, you know, Eastlands is dominated by mostly the slums and, you know, so a station like Kayole, you will not miss, like, say, 20 plus files in a day.
Okay.
A station like, say, Pangani, you will not miss like 20 plus on a Monday. A station like Dandora, a station like, say, Kariobangi and Soweto. Yeah?
Na mababi wa Eastlands ni nani? Wala waleti kesi. I heard Muthaiga being called. Yeah, Muthaiga is in Eastlands.
Yes, Muthaiga is
It's
within
the
our
Eastlands jurisdiction.
yes.
Oh, Muthaiga is not uptown.
No, it's within our
Yeah.
jurisdiction.
So do you get as many files from them
Yes.
as you would Kayole? No. Wale
As
wafanyangi
many
makosa.
times as you would from Kayole, not really,
Yeah.
because they have options to either come here or go to Milimani. So most of the time,
they maybe go to
If they
Milimani.
don't come here, they've gone to Milimani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most common crime? Do you get to read them? Because I think I'd waste time reading.
Yes, we
stories.
have to read through them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most of the cases within Eastlands,
Yeah.
you will get assault and assault causing actual bodily harm.
Yeah.
You also not means robbery and robbery with violence.
Okay.
You will also get a bit of the assaults,
Eso's name.
the sexual offences.
Okay.
The rape, defilement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're also a bit rampant in the Eastlands region.
Yeah.
And also the petty crimes. Yeah.
Traffic. Is traffic a petty crime? No.
Traffic is just a traffic offense. But petty crimes with the offenses like disorderly conduct, drunk and disorderly. We have cases like maybe someone they're doing gambling in the public. Yeah, those are petty crimes, which are also very rampant in the Eastlands.
What's gambling in public? Ile patapotea.
Yeah, kuna ile patapotea.
But they do it so openly in Tao.
Yeah, those are criminal offenses.
That you see a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what we need to wind up.
Yeah.
This show is normally 1 hour, and we already had some time going round.
Yes.
But this is very interesting for me, and I hope, I don't know, Wasike, maybe just as a parting shot, how important is this process in accessing justice? Because now, I think we're finding it, when we sensitize people, explaining kwambia watu these processes has been separated for your benefit, watu hawapati. Watu wengi sana sana. Pengine walikuwa wamezoea polisi wanawafanyia kila kitu. Our their new faces wanashanga sasa wanatusaidia namna gani. But since the promulgation of the new constitution, it's been what now? 13 years or so. How do you explain to someone the benefit of this thing, of these processes being separated like this?
Okay, before I come to that, there is information that I would like you also to get.
Yeah.
Before even we bring the file here,
the
ODPP together with the investigators of all the 42 police stations, we have got a WhatsApp group.
Okay.
For the purpose of harmonization.
All right.
So you find like maybe I have a case and I'm stranded as the investigating officer.
Yeah.
Meaning that all the prosecutors, we have their numbers. I can conduct any for the purpose of advice.
Yeah.
So that when we bring the file here, already we have got satisfactory evidence.
Yes.
So we communicate on daily basis.
Yeah.
And on that group also, they also even sent the file that are supposed to be brought before court 3 days earlier.
Okay.
You're getting it? For example, now, let me say like at the police station, we have got specific investigating officers who deal with like sexual offenses. Those police officers who deal with sexual offenses that are under gender office, they don't put on uniform.
Oh.
Yes, they don't put on uniform. Also,
why?
They don't put on uniform so that they can have good rapport together with them.
Oh, the people like us were scared of uniform.
Yeah, like a child when you are going maybe to talk to her, say, oh, this is a police officer.
Yeah.
So you find that most of the time, like my sister here, Janet, we know that she's in court number 1, 2, or 3. All right? So when I'm having my cases in court number 1, I must consult her. We work hand in hand. To my side, as you have said, actually, I can say that the system has been working well. Forget about these things that people say, but the system has been working well. Personally, I've been in the police for the last 26 years.
I can't believe that.
For the last 26 years. So I've worked.
It's a long time.
I've worked all under.
Oh, you worked before and now
before
the
and
new.
before.
Okay.
When the police officers, they were prosecutors.
Yeah.
To speak the truth that there is no monopoly in knowledge.
Oh, yes.
I myself have found a lot of improvement when this system began in operation. Because, you know, when you get a different person who can advise you, it is, for example, right now when I prepare the file, before I bring it, I forward it to my boss, who is the OCS or the OC crime. Also, he peruses the file and say, okay, this one is okay. Now, take it to the ODPP. When I come and find somebody like Lynette, she takes over the file, go through and calls me and say, you know what? This one is supposed to correct like this. Once it's corrected you the mistake, next time you will not repeat it again.
The mistake, it become better.
And after having done like this, immediately we go in court, we face the defense lawyers. So if we work together, when the defense lawyer comes, already we have enough evidence. Let me cite an example as I finish. For example, I'm bringing a case of forgery. If I bring the case of forgery, the court prosecutor will tell me that this document you're supposed to take it to an expertise. Because the defense lawyer will come and ask, how did you come to charge my client with this offense? Which document? Because immediately after you bring the file here, remember the suspect will be required to be fashioned with all the details of the file.
Oh, even the suspect?
Yes. He's fashioned with all the details of the file.
Okay.
And once it's fashioned with the details of the file, you cannot come and correct it when already the case is over.
Oh, okay. So this correction is done at this stage?
It is done at this stage, and it's between the investigating officer and the prosecutor. Because when we fail, they have also failed.
Yes.
When they fail, we also fail.
Yes.
And then the justice is not done.
Yes.
So I find it very important working with the ODPP. Like now, if you can check on our WhatsApp, today is on Friday, they will post all files that are supposed to be in court
on Monday. Wow.
They do a don't work.
Yeah.
Because each and the prosecutor, court number 1, please, police station, this, bring this file on this day. And they take a lot of time.
Oh.
Sometimes an IO might not be around, is on leave. This one will not find the I'm supposed to do, because we also engage in different duties. We don't necessarily do just investigation.
Just do this,
Yeah. So it enables us to bring the file on order and also to have ingredient evidence.
Okay.
That's my take. And the community, for example, the ODPP has really helped us. Most of the time, almost 100 to 200 cases, members of public, they normally take us to the poor. But since this system began in operation, a lot of cases of police being taken to a poor has been reduced.
Done well.
Because once a member is not justified, he will take you to another agent. So we find that very helpful, because once I've brought the file before court and evidence is enough, even if they take me to a poor,
you're good. Yeah.
Yes.
You have your evidence.
And I have a place to hang on.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Lynette, just tell us a bit. There's something called prosecution guided investigation, and Michael is asking, what is that? So what is prosecution guided investigation? Because Wasike will just come with his file, having had the case recorded there, but then there's a prosecution guided investigation. Yeah. What is that?
Basically, prosecution guided investigation, it literally means working with the investigator in investigation. It's not, he has done his investigation. He will bring the file to me. But for me now, I'll have to guide the investigator on which directions to go. As he's saying, he will bring the file to me. He has done his investigation. But me as a prosecutor, I will guide him that this is where you're supposed to go. This is the direction that you're supposed to go.
Right.
And mostly it's also, as he's saying, that they call us before. They will tell us, this is a matter that I am having in here at the station. How do I go?
Okay.
Yes, that is now what is called prosecution-guided investigations. Yes.
Okay, someone else asked, Lugait asks, what factors do you consider to differentiate between justifiable and unjustifiable homicides? I'm not sure he's asking Wasike or asking. What is there a justifiable homicide?
Okay, that one is basically at the level of the ODPP.
Yeah.
Because whenever with us we bring
Yeah.
the offense here, they give us guidelines.
Ah, okay.
For example, when they are talking about issues of the homicide, there is another area whereby we refer.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. You, what is justifiable, or can homicide be justifiable?
For me, I think it depends with the circumstances.
Okay.
For you to know that this is a justifiable homicide, it depends with what circumstances you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, and that involves now the issue of investigation, you know, working together with the prosecutor to be able to know. Because, you see, you cannot be able to say that this is a justifiable homicide if you do not know the circumstances surrounding it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite a random question there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Naftali,
Yeah.
as you wind up, why did you laugh when you said ipoa? Umecheka vile tumesema ipoa.
Yeah, like there have been cases, yeah, where officers have been most of the time taken to IPOA because of maybe variances between the public and the police.
Yeah.
Previously, the police were charged with the holistic responsibility of investigating, charging, prosecuting, all that. So public haijakuwa na that confidence in the police.
But do you think the separation of duties is important, in your opinion?
It is really important because, like, apparently a civilian can walk in here and demand, rather, or request to know the status of his or her case.
And you're able to give that?
And we are able to give out that information free of charge.
Yeah.
Unlike, let us just, because we have had instances, and like when it was holistic, like the police used to handle like everything.
Yeah.
You would walk into the police station, you say, niliripoti kesi yangu, and you're told like, go back and come back after 2 weeks. So the separation of duties and responsibilities has really encouraged the public to have confidence in these institutions, because now they have that basic information ya kwamba my case will be reported at the station, it will be taken at the ODPP, and then I can follow it up. If I can't get help at the station level, someone else can give me that help I need.
Yeah.
So it's really been influential in the how justice is dispensed, basically, because someone or the public will get justice just as maybe they may wish.
Okay. I mean, it looks very easy when you explain it, but there are people who still say, "What turudi tu pali tulikuwa, hii process ni complicated." So from case intake, now what happens from your desk? Where does the file go?
Now, from case intake, once we have approved the file, it is put in the system. Now that is where the UADILIFU case intake comes in.
Okay.
So once it has been, we scan the whole day, rather, Naftali will scan the whole file, and now we register the file as a plea, so that now the judiciary gets the charge sheet for plea taking. So that means it ends up in court. Yeah, it ends up in court.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I think we still need to keep talking about this thing, ndio watu waelewe. Hata mimi, every time I talk about it, I discover something new.
Yeah.
Like I used to know that case management is holistic from case intake. Nilijua uadilifu inaanzia kwa nini, kwa mlango, hata sijui kwa police station. So I think every day I talk about this whole process, I also learn something, and I'm hoping people also just get to learn. So thank you so much for your time, Wasike, Lynette, and Naftali, and thank you so much for your insights. We shall definitely come back. Tutauliza maswali mpaka tuelewe. You know, it is very amazing that from 2010 ndio tunaanza kudiscuss hizi vitu saa hii. So hata sisi tumechelewa, lakini we are catching up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us wherever you are. Thank you for your comments on Facebook and on of course, Twitter and YouTube, and for walking with us the journey of the file. And I don't know whether you are like me. I always believe that case management starts from when the charge sheet is brought, but that process is called case intake, where there's some bit of perusing the files, doing some control, and where the decision to charge or not is made, or where the investigative officer is told to go back and fill in the gaps, of course, with the direction of the prosecutors. Again, I'd just like to remind you that the process changed since the promulgation of the new constitution. Now we have investigators doing what they are meant to do, collecting evidence and investigating of cases, and then they bring it to the prosecutors, who are now lawyers, who are now able to advise based on the law what sort of, how to file the case in court, all in a bid to just achieve justice for you and for I, in case you are found in such situations. So that is just part of it. And of course, you've met Naftali, who tells us 42 stations, and they're not. Wish you a blessed weekend ahead, and let's catch up in the week to come. God bless. Thank you.